you always go through life hoping that and praying that your kids grow up to be better than you are. And from being able to be Garrett's father and watching him grow through the years and hunting with him and being able to teach him how to do things, I've just been blessed to spend time with him, and he loves to hunt with me and I love to hunt with him. And that's really what kind of keeps me going on doing a lot of things, is just the excitement that Garrett brings. And so this year was no different than anything else. We did Garrett's best friend, Talon Rydell, has been kind of coming in and helping, because I have a real busy schedule working as a paramedic, so we work 24-hour shifts. Sometimes I'm home, sometimes I'm not. So Talon stepped in, and Garrett and Talon have been able to hunt before school and after school, and they're out there all the time. Anytime that I'm not with Garrett, Talon's with him somewhere.
So I've always hunted with my dad. My dad's usually the main person I hunt with, but I've killed all of my bucks but one with my dad, and he always tries to put me first whenever we're hunting. Usually I want him to shoot one because he has work and stuff, and he has a tighter schedule than me. But as thankful as I am getting to hunt with my dad all the time and him always putting me first, I've been starting to hunt with my good buddy Talon Rydell quite a bit more. He filmed me killing my first buck, and then I filmed him killing his first buck with our bows.
What was that long short one?
Proud of you.
You got him. You got him, Talon. Yes. 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 Oh my God.
It shot high though.
No, but you
shot high. I saw what though.
You're good left and right though.
Oh my God. Oh my.
Yes, yes. Nice job, man.
Oh, I'm shaking. You want to stop?
No, I know.
So that was a cool experience that I think has bonded us and brought us close together. I'm really looking forward to these future hunts with Talon or with my dad, whichever person I get a hunt with, but I'm excited to see what's in store on the farms that we got.
So as deer season came up and we finally got football season kind of wound down and things were getting slowed down to where we could do some stuff, we spent about the first 2 weeks in November just hunting together exclusively, and then Talon would come in whenever we could use him.
So we were sitting there, and just out of nowhere, Dad tells me, "Garrett, there's a buck right beside the blind." And so then that's whenever I grabbed my bow, got my bow down, and he was so close to the blind, Dad couldn't even reach up and turn the camera on. So we kind of had limited footage on that, but then he got out and turned broadside and gave me my shot that I took on him.
That is a stud. You killed a stud, buddy. Oh, look at that. That's a stud 8-point, buddy. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. I'm proud of you. Nice job.
So to date, this was my biggest buck, and now my next mission was to get either Talon on video or my dad on video. So Talon and I, we went out, we hit it hard. We were hunting before school and we were hunting after school. We were successful. I videoed him shooting a buck and a doe.
You came out of nowhere.
So now it was my dad's turn.
Definitely been a tough season for me. Garrett got one early, and I've been hunting quite a bit and just haven't got the job done, haven't found one I want to shoot. So maybe tonight we can get a good one to come in.
We have a small lease that is actually the one that Garrett shot his deer off of. And so I went out, it was the last day of muzzleloader season. I had my tag, and I decided that no matter what, I was just gonna go ahead and fill my tag, whether it meant shooting a doe or a buck. And I had to hunt it a little different. We usually hunt a lot of that with a north wind. Today that day we had a southeast wind, and so I was trying to figure out the best way to set up. So I actually ended up setting just between two telephone poles. There's a big high wire power line that runs through. But we had this cold front that was coming, and they were calling for a bunch of snow. So I was hoping that I would be able to capitalize on the fact that those deer were going to come out and feed in that alfalfa field. So it was just all night action. Does kept filing into that alfalfa and they were feeding. And luckily most of them were feeding off to my right, which made the southeast wind not an issue at all. So at one time I had about 15 does to my right, and I just decided that, you know, tonight may not be the night I kill a buck, so I was gonna just pick out a big doe. And I started having some deer feed out on my left side. And so I just kept waiting and wanted to get down to where, you know, there wasn't any chance of shooting anything but a doe. So I got down to that point and I had, I don't know, over 20 does in front of me from left to right all over. And I had one doe coming down the left side and she was right on the verge of where I was afraid I was gonna get busted by the wind. So I just picked up my gun, I started going through and trying to pick out the biggest, you know, heaviest, most mature doe that we had. And as I was going through, I just happened to catch a rack that all you could see was the top of his antlers over the hill. So then the waiting game came, and I just had to wait and try and get him, you know, get him to come up and get that other doe to not feed far enough forward that she was going to win me. So it was kind of nerve-wracking there for a while, and he'd take a step every once in a while, and she'd take a step, and so I just pins and needles for a while, and finally I got in, saw his head come up, and I could have shot him like right square in the chest, but it was still just a little low, kind of a marginal shot. So I decided just to go ahead and wait and see if I could get him to take a couple more steps.
Man, last minute, last day, it is 5:14 on January 10th. I smoked a good buck. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that just happened.
So I was able to take the shot. He was only about 55 yards from me. I hit him really well. He ran down into the timber. So I tried to make it a point not just to jump up and take off following a deer no matter what. Too many times I've busted them out. So I went ahead and kind of picked up all my stuff, and I was able to run home, and I grabbed Garrett. Garrett had got out of school that day, so he was at home, and my other son and my daughter-in-law were actually there too. So we all went together. We were able to go over, and the deer didn't even make it across the fence. He ran down the bottom of the hill, so he ran about 50 yards. He was piled up laying underneath an evergreen tree down there. And he was actually a little bit bigger than I thought he was whenever I got there. He was just a really nice, typical deer, and was super blessed to take that deer on that day, last day, and was able to get everything to come together. So 2018 was a huge success for us. We were blessed, super excited for 2019 to come around, getting out, getting ready to get some food plots and stuff going, trying to get everything marked out and know where we're at.
Two, three, cheese. Cheese, as Garrett would say. Cheese.